I wanted to take a couple of minutes just before we go away and talk about the rise of a potential third party, because I know when you were here last time, you were very interested, Paul, in Gary Johnson. Of course, this was before he couldn't find Aleppo on a map, and he's had a number of other gaffes. But there is a third party candidate, Mr. McMullen, who could win in the state of Utah, and that hasn't happened since George Wallace took Alabama in the 60s.
I had a number of bets where I said a third party would at least take one state. I was expecting that to be Johnson, possibly in Alaska. I thought Alaska was a state that Johnson stood a good chance in. He's obviously dropped off quite heavily. But now we have Utah, which is my holdout state for the possibility of an independent or third party taking a state. And Utah is very interesting because, of course, Utah, with its Mormon population, is a very strong Republican state, but actually Trump's infidelity hits him there more than anywhere else by a long shot. And McMullen really could take Utah. I think there's a strong possibility of that, especially with what's come out with Hillary, because I think you will get Republicans who had shifted to Hillary in Utah who may now shift to McMullen as another option.
Do not underestimate the power of Utah women. That's the piece that I think everybody has.
Yeah, they certainly won't go to Trump, will they? No. So McMullen may possibly see that.
Or they may come to Hillary. You know, and that's what makes this thing so crazy is that
they won't go to
it's
Hillary,
been I mean, whoever thought Utah, Georgia, perhaps even Texas would be swing states?
Yeah,
but they are. Arizona.
The interesting thing is, if it wasn't for early voting. Now, early voting has happened, so I don't believe. If it wasn't for early voting and McMullen had taken Utah, you really could have ended up in a situation, I think, where you had no outright winner because of the electoral college system. Early voting, I think, completely puts that to one side. There's no chance of that happening now. I do think Hillary is going to take it. But even McMullen taking Utah would be quite a wake-up call for the Republican Party, because they're in a real crisis after this election.
And they've had wake-up calls now for the last 12 years. And they still keep hitting the snooze button.
They need a bigger alarm clock.
I mean, Russ Douthat, he's a solid conservative writer for the New York Times. And he said, about Hillary Clinton, I agree with him that grave evils will follow from electing Hillary. But the Trump alternative is like a feckless war of choice in the service of some just-seeming end, with a commanding general who likes war crimes. It's a ticket on a widening gyre promising political catastrophe and moral corruption. So he's thrown his support behind Hillary. And, we heard Louis C.K. in the opening. I mean, the end is near. I just hope, guys, it's not the end.